Okay, hi. My name is Chrissy Tickle, and I also did the Toy Story activity that everybody else did. Like Zach, I did go to Walmart, but I didn't go to a supercenter. I went to like a standard Walmart because, I'm thinking maybe they might be a little bit different, but between how they're set up. And before I went, I had some like pre-existing thoughts that I thought were gonna happen. Because usually I go to Target and I see like a big difference in between these things. So I thought it was also gonna be like a huge difference, like this is clearly boys, this is clearly girls. And I wouldn't say that I was like pleasantly surprised at what I saw, but there were less stereotypes than I thought I was gonna see. So I was a little surprised at that. But when I went in, they were basically like 5, 6 aisles devoted to the toys. There was, the baby section, like the little infants, toddlers, and then there would be the girls section that is typically for, I guess, like 10 and under kind of toys, and the boys that would be 10 and under, and then like the older kid section, and then off on the side there was it was like the outdoorsy kind of stuff, like the scooters and the bikes and the tricycles and everything. And when I actually started to look at the toys, like I looked at the colors first and everything, and I was kind of surprised at what I saw. In the baby section, you think like, what's the sex of this child? That's what we automatically think. So I thought I was going to see a lot more blue and pink things, but I didn't. I saw a lot of like more gender neutral colors. I saw yellow, and I saw like the mint green kind of colors mixed in there and everything. And I mean, there were some, pink and blue, but there wasn't as much as I thought I was going to see. Now, when I started getting into the girls and the boys, the younger kids section, that's when I started noticing a little bit of division. But I think that had more to do with just the toy companies and the toy manufacturers in general than it had to do with Walmart. Because I think the way Walmart actually organized it was pretty smart, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But there were 2 brands. It was My Sweet Love and My Life as like ... whatever career it was, where the clothes that the girl dolls wore pink, the boxes were pink, the display cases they were in were pink. And Walmart can't necessarily help that. They don't help what what these toys come in. And that's how I noticed like this is the girl section, because it was at the end of the aisle. It was like right when you walk in, boom, there it is. That's girls, obviously. And when it came to the boys section, that's where you had the superheroes and the wrestlers and the NASCAR action figures. And I like what Zach did. I looked at the kids on the boxes of these things, because you see the kids playing with different toys and everything. And like I was kind of happy to see that when it came to like the superhero stuff, it didn't even have like a picture of the superhero on it. It was like, this is Batman, this is Captain America, but it didn't have like a boy wearing this mask or like a boy, in this outfit. So it could have gone either way, but then again, those things weren't in the girl section. So, I mean, boys are going to most likely see that kind of thing. And I also think there was just a lack of female representation in general, because there are girl wrestlers, there are female NASCAR drivers, but they didn't put those toys in there. And there are female superheroes, but they didn't put those toys in there. And those are very, like, scarce to even find in toy stores just in general. Now, when it came to the races and just different jobs and everything that they had, I knew there would be a little bit of diversity, just because you hear so much about, like, we want to have this race included and this race included. But when you think of diversity, what these different races are fighting for, it's mainly just to include African American dolls in there. I don't hear a lot of like, let's include Asian, let's include Indian, or just different kind of races in there. And when it came to the separation between black dolls, white dolls, it was kind of 50-50. White was obviously the predominant race that was found in there, but African American dolls were like a very, very close second, and they would be right next to each other or in the same box. I don't know if that was like intentional or not, but they were a lot of both of them. So I was pleasantly surprised to see that. But then I started looking at like, well, what are the colors of these other dolls and everything? And I only saw 2 Asian dolls, and that was in the girls section. 2 Asian dolls in the whole entire toy section, and it was a vet and a nurse. So I mean, again, like there's also that stereotype where an Asian is more likely to be better at science and better at math, and here's an Asian who is this doll and they're, you know, in the medical profession somewhat. So I think that's kind of advancing that stereotype also. And there were, you know, when it came to like the colors of different toys and everything also, like when it came to like the scooters and the bikes and everything, they were actually all like integrated with each other. There was pink and there was blue, but again on the boxes there was the girl who was driving the pink scooter and the boy who was on the blue or the red scooter. So I'm like, either, in my opinion, you can either have, you know, a girl on the red scooter too, or just don't have it at all, because I think it's gonna just skew little kids' minds. If it does, you know, sometimes it doesn't, but if it does seep in there, they're gonna be like, this is girls, this is boys, and everything. And then even like the types of toys that were there, the girls' toys were obviously, let's do the hair, let's do the makeup, let's, you know, again, the vets and the doctors. I didn't see any guy doctors actually, and which was interesting because I thought I would, but they were just kind of there, like, let's do the nurturing thing, let's do the caretaker role. And there actually was, when it came to boys' dolls, the only boys that I saw represented like as an actual doll were the Barbie Ken dolls, and they had different races too. It was actually just black and white. And what I saw was interesting was all of the white dolls, they were like fully stocked. There was a couple that were gone, but there was only one black Ken doll that was left. And it was like, that's actually pretty cool to see, because like a girl or a guy is gonna come up here and let's grab these. Like, that was noticeably the most popular one that they had there. So I thought that was pretty interesting too. And even when it came back to races, the only other race that was represented was the Disney princesses, like Ariel, where it had to be another kind of race because you're doing it based off of an actual character. So in the future, I think you just need to be able to integrate both of them properly. But I mean, just in general, I don't think Walmart specifically did anything to organize toys in a different way, because I think they actually did a really great job. Like, there were toys, like little toy guns that were in different colors. There was like a pink one and a blue one, but they were right next to each other on the shelves. Like, they weren't separated by the different kinds of toys, that just because they were the same toy, just separated by the different colors or anything. I think like the biggest one was the Nerf section, because for me personally, I love like the Nerf guns. I love shooting everybody. It's so much fun. But every single box had a guy on it. Every single box had a guy on it. There's two that didn't have a guy on it, and that was like one of the guns that they had and the bow and arrow that they had. And the bow and arrow, they actually changed the name of it. So they changed it to Rebel or Rebel, where they put like the last, where Bell was Belle, so like a Southern Belle type thing. And the bow was all pink and glittery, the arrows were pink and glittery, and I'm like, why is this even here? Like, why do you even need to change the name of it? I was kind of offensive. I went on like a rant in my head about that. But I mean, there's just no need for it. There's no need to separate it and do things like that, and not even have any girls represented on those boxes whatsoever. I thought was something that I didn't really appreciate or anything. Now, this is actually kind of the first time I looked at toys like as in depth as I have. I've obviously noticed it before, but I never was like, let's go take a look at all of these different things. In my opinion, I don't really think the toy differences have impacted me in like a negative way. I think I definitely noticed it when I was growing up, but I didn't, it didn't change how I looked at myself or anything, because I was actually the kid who like wanted to stray away from the girly things, because a lot of my friends were guys, and I didn't want them to see me as like weak or see me as somebody who needed something different or something special. I wanted to be able to play with them and play with the things that they played with. And I strayed away from like the girly clothes too and everything. So I mean, it's obviously something that I noticed, but I didn't want to like let it affect me in a bad way. And I think as I've gotten older, I've looked at it differently, just because like I'll take kids to go to the store or something, and I even fall victim sometimes to calling a toy a girly thing or a boy toy. I don't mean to do that. It's just how I'm programmed to do it. And Okay. And yeah, so that's just, I think just in general I need to work on being able to separate the two and making sure that kids know that it's okay to go to both aisles and enjoy all kinds of toys. So yeah, thanks.